Hello everybody, my name is Ryan and today we're going to be crocheting the He Loves Me Not Valentine's Day bag. I'm super excited for this one. I've been trying to get it out in time for Valentine's and today is Feb 1st, so right in the nick of time. So to make this project you're going to need worsted weight yarn in whatever color you want and a 4.25mm crochet hook. And I was noticing it was funny that I had also made the hook grip with the same yarn. So to make this project, we're going to start with a magic loop. And I'm adapting this pattern off of somebody else's pattern, so I will put her pattern in the description if you want to go check that out. Just for the first 2 rounds of the heart base that we're going to be doing. So for the first round, we're going to chain up 4. And then we're going to put 3 treble crochet into the magic loop. And if you don't want to do a magic loop, you can just chain 4 and then do all of this in a loop instead of the magic loop if you prefer. But I always prefer a magic loop. Even when I do granny squares, I just think that looks nicer. Okay, so we're going to do our 3 treble crochet, and here I am fighting with the magic loop, which is probably why people don't like the magic loop, because it's a touch finicky. And then after that we're going to do 4 double crochet. And then at the very tip of our heart, we're going to do 1 treble crochet. And then on the other side, we're just going to repeat everything we just did, but in reverse. So we're going to do 4 more double crochet, 3 treble crochet, and then I'll meet you at the end. At the very top, at the end of our first round, we're going to chain up 3, and then you're going to slip stitch into the center of the magic ring, or however you're deciding to do this, and then pull your magic loop tight. Now there's a lot of stitches on here, so it's not going to be like perfectly closed. You'll still have a small gap, but I still think the magic loop is superior. And that is the first round. Now next up for the second round, we're going to single crochet 2 around this treble post, and then we're going to double crochet 3 in the first stitch. I never know what to call this, like 3 in 1 or a triple increase, but I'm just going to call it 3 double crochet in 1. And we're going to do that 2 more times, so you should have 3 triple increases. Okay, and then next you're going to double crochet 3 regular, and then you're going to do 1 normal increase, and then at the bottom, this last stitch at the tip is always going to be the same from here on out. You're going to put 1 double crochet and then 1 treble crochet. I never know, is it treble or triple? Whatever. And then 1 more double crochet for a total of 3. And now we're just going to repeat everything we did on the other side. So our double crochet increase, our 3 double crochet, and then our 3 triple double crochet increases. And then lastly, to finish off this round, we're just going to single crochet 2 around this last treble post. And then moving right along to round 3. For round 3, you're going to slip stitch into this first stitch, chain up 1, and then single crochet 2. And then you're going to half double crochet, and then you're going to do 6 double crochet increases, Once you're done with your increases, you're just going to double crochet 7 down the side of your heart until you get to the bottom stitch, which, like I said, is always going to be the same. It's going to be a double crochet, treble crochet, double crochet in the same stitch, and then you're just going to repeat everything on the other side, and I will meet you at the end. And at the end of round 3, you're going to single crochet 2 and then slip stitch in the next available stitch and chain 1. Okay, next up, round 4, you're going to skip the first stitch and start with a single crochet. You're going to do 3 single crochet, and then you're going to do a half double crochet, and then you're going to do 6 double crochet increases. After your 6 double crochet increases, you are going to double crochet, double crochet increase, and you're going to do that twice, so you're just going to repeat that for another double crochet, and then another double crochet increase. And down the side of our heart, we're now going to do 9 double crochet, and then the last stitch you already know is going to be the same, and then we're going to repeat all this on the other side of the heart. Coming to the end of our round, we're doing our 3 single crochet, and we're going to skip 1 stitch and slip stitch into the next one, and make sure it's an actual stitch, because that in the middle was just a chain stitch, not an actual stitch. And that is the end of round 4. Moving on to round 5. It starts to get a bit of a mouthful here. We are going to skip 1, single crochet 3, and then you're going to half double crochet 2, and then you're going to double crochet 1, increase, a total of 7 times. Then after all those increases, we're going to double crochet 11 down the side of the heart, and the final stitch is going to be the same as always, and we're just going to repeat all this on the other side of the heart. At the end of this round, we're going to single crochet 3, skip 1, and slip stitch and chain 1. Now we're coming to the final round of our heart, which is going to be round 6. We're going to skip the first stitch and single crochet 4. Then we're going to half double crochet twice. Then we're going to half double crochet increase. Next, we're going to double crochet 2, increase, and we're going to do that 6 times. Next, we're just going to double crochet 13 down the side of our heart, and then the last stitch is going to be the same as all the other rounds, and then we're going to repeat all this on the other side of the heart. To the end of this round, we're going to single crochet 4. We're going to skip 1 stitch, and we're actually going to slip stitch into this chain space right in the middle. It's not a stitch, so it's breaking the rule, but it's what we're going to do, and then we're going to chain 2. So for our next round, we're going to be building up the side of the bag. So we're going to half double crochet in the back posts only. So you're going to go around the back of the post and do a half double crochet. It looks more complicated than it actually is, to be honest. I like to think of it as going in one stitch and out the other stitch, because it's basically the same thing as going around the post. So we're just going to half double crochet in the back posts only all the way around, and you should have 94 stitches. When you get back around to the other side, we are going to slip stitch into the first stitch we made. Which I have trouble doing, apparently. I'm going to slip stitch into that stitch, and then we're going to chain up 2. And now we're just going to do a normal round of half double crochet all the way around, and you should still have 94 stitches. When you get to the end of the round, we're just going to do the same thing as previous. We're going to slip stitch to the first stitch of the round, and this will be our final round of this heart. And then of course you got to make a second one because you need two sides of a bag. Now we're just going to mark out the center opening for the bag. And so I've just roughly counted 13 stitches from the center on either side. So 26 stitches in the middle here. I wanted to give this bag a little bit more structure, so next I'm going to be adding some cardboard. And to do this, I just laid the piece on top of some thin cardboard. This is just a cereal box, and I'm just going to trace it around with a pen or pencil, and I'm going to cut that out. And once you've cut it out, make sure it fits. You want it so that it lines up with the edge. You'd rather it be a tiny bit too small than too big so that it creates that perfect shape. And I really like how this technique worked. You could use like a sheet of plastic or something else if you wanted to make it more waterproof or whatever. And then to make the second one, all you have to do is trace the cardboard piece that we've already cut out, and so that way they're identical. Next, I'm just going to quickly sew in my ends. This is the top of the bag, and I'm doing the, I don't really know what you would call this, the fake final stitch. So I'm going to go in 2 stitches down, and then I'm going to go in the back loop of the last stitch, and this creates a false stitch, which makes it look a little bit nicer. You don't have to do that, but why not? And I'm just going to sew in my end on the back however you usually sew in your ends. I usually just go down a row of stitches. And then to sew in the end in the center, I'm just going to go around in a circle for a little bit and snip it off. So to keep the cardboard in place, I've decided to hot glue it. I'm sure there's a lot of different methods for this. You could use fabric glue or like E6000 or whatever that glue is called. I don't really think it matters too much. I think hot glue is good. It really attaches to the fibers. You just have to make sure that you're not using too much and that you're using it on the low setting instead of the hot setting, or else the glue will start to seep through the holes of the crochet, and you don't want that. You just want enough glue for it not to fall off. Okay, now we're going to start the strap of the bag, and basically you can disregard most of what I'm doing here. I decided to put it way farther down than it actually needed to be, and I hated it so much that I cut it out and redid it. So don't focus so much on the placement here, but the technique is still the same of what I'm doing. I just moved the strap up later on. So I'm just going to attach with the same pink color, and I'm going to go through both sides and do a slip stitch and then a single crochet, or however you want to do it. It doesn't really matter as long as it's attached. And I'm doing it in the same stitch here. I eventually end up moving this to the very edge of the opening because that just ended up working better. But yeah, so now I'm just going to chain up my desired length. I ended up changing that too. Depending on what size bag you want it, it could be crossbody or just a small little handheld purse, whatever you want to do. I would just say make sure you're not chaining too tightly because we're going to be going into the back chain of the chain, the back loops of the chain, and those are notoriously hard to get into. And so now I'm on the other side of wherever you want it to go. Just make sure it's even, and I'm basically going to do the same thing I did on the first side, so make a slip stitch and a single crochet, or however you want to do it. And then for our chain, we're going to do a half double crochet slip stitch. So I'm just going to chain up one, and then I'm going to wiggle my way into the first stitch of the back chain here, which I swear isn't this hard. It's just whenever I'm trying to film something, it just becomes twice as hard as it should be. So you're going to pull up a loop, and you'll have 3, and so you're just going to pull that first one through the next 2, and you see I cut it because I was having so much trouble trying to film this correctly, but don't worry, I do show it. So you're going to pull up a loop, and then you're going to pull that first loop through the next 2, and this just creates like a thicker slip stitch pattern, which I think makes a good cord. You can just do a regular slip stitch, but it'll be a little bit thin. You can do like a myriad of different kind of straps, whatever you want to do here. So I'm just going to do that all the way to the other side, and I'll show you how I finish off. And once I make it all the way across the chain, I'm just going to make another slip stitch in the same stitch that we attached to the first time, super basic, and then I'm going to weave those ends in later because couldn't be bothered to do it now, I guess. Next, we're going to attach our two sides, and I'm using a contrasting color here for a little ruffled shelled edge. And so first we're going to go into our marked stitch, and we're just going to attach with a slip stitch with our new color, which is just my go-to. You can use a slip knot if you want, I just don't really do that. And we're going to chain up one, and then we're going to make a single crochet in that same stitch, and we're going to only single crochet in the front loops. So we're going to take one from one side and one on the other, and we're going to single crochet that together. You can go through both loops if you want to. I just thought that this looked a little bit nicer. It just makes it a little bit flatter in the center area. But it's really up to you. And so we're just going to do that all the way around to the other side where we've marked the opening. And you'll see here, I'm just like going around where I put the strap the first time. But like I said, I moved the strap, so you can just kind of ignore that. And once you make it to the other side, I have two options for an edging. If you want to do the ruffle, you're going to chain up 2. And for the ruffle, it's super simple. You're just going to place 4 double crochet into every stitch. And that's just going to get you like a slight ruffle. But if you want to do the shell like I've done, you're just going to chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch into this first stitch. We're going to skip a stitch, and then in the next stitch you're going to double crochet 5 for your shell. There's different sized shells and different ways to do shells, but this is just the way I like to do a shell. Not to mention that it works out perfectly for the number of stitches. So after you double crochet 5, you're going to skip the next stitch and then slip stitch in the next stitch. And you're just going to repeat that. So you're going to skip the next stitch, double crochet 5 in the next stitch, and you're just going to repeat that all the way around. You can see here in this clip, this is when I was realizing that I really messed up the strap placement. I put it down way too low, so I was trying to pin it to like figure out where the best place would be. And of course, it's the best place is right at the opening, which I should have realized, but whatever. So next I'm just going to be cutting this off, and luckily that actually works because it was separate from everything else, so no problem there. Just going to cut it off and redo exactly what I did before, but right at the entrance, right at the opening of the bag, the 2 stitches on the side. And I decided to make the strap shorter as well, so I only chained 40. And then after that, your bag is basically done. I'm just going to weave in all my ends, and I'm not going to show it because I didn't want to, and I feel like you can figure that out on your own. Basically, you could just pull them to the inside and make a knot, and you're not really ever going to see the inside of the bag unless you decided to line it or something like that, but I'm not going to do that today. So the bag is now done. This bag is pretty small. It's about 8 inches wide and 6 inches tall by like maybe 2 inches deep. I just wanted to make it big enough to fit a phone, a wallet, some hair ties, whatever. I mean, I think it's like a statement bag. I don't think most people are going to be like using this as an everyday bag to put all their stuff in, you know? So yeah, that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's super cute. And if you decide to make it for Valentine's or whenever you're watching this video, that's awesome. If you do end up making it, you should tag me on Instagram because I would love to see it. That would be cool. Okay guys, make sure to like the video. You can subscribe if you feel like it. Comment down below anything you think I should make next, or if you have any questions. And if you're looking for a written version of this pattern, that will be available down below. Thank you. Bye.